Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about the process specifically of integration and the fact that we need to remember that when we're undergoing a process where we're integrating and we're expanding and we're discovering who we are and we're trying different things and we're reading and we're journaling and we're meditating, but we're also acting in the world. We're taking the skills, we're developing those skills, we're putting them into practice. It's important to like organize those things into categories. The reason we have to organize them is because there are certain parts of our lives that we do that's actually part of the integration process. So it's almost like you're understanding, you're organizing, you're reflecting, right? It's kind of like an internal process. Now it's important to make sure that if you do a lot of that stuff already, like if you're doing like the meditating and the self-reflecting and all that stuff, don't just focus on yourself because that is like the integration. But if you only focus on that aspect, then you actually begin to disintegrate. Because in order for you to kind of like not only stay integrated, but evolve and improve that integration and strengthen it and make it go to the next level, you have to do what? You have to complete that cycle. So you have to expand, right? You have to give. You have to take what you know or you think you know to test it to see if it actually is real and true. Because if you're thinking, okay, this is real, this is true, then you've got to act it out, right? You've got to say things, you've got to do things in the world so that way you can get the feedback, right? You're getting the feedback, you're seeing how what you're doing and what you're saying is having an impact on things. And then what you do is you're thinking about that, right? So you're generating awareness around what you're doing. And then you can kind of reprocess things and understand and say, oh, okay. So that I see how I was doing, that's actually exactly what I need to be doing. Or, oh, you know what? I wasn't doing that right. I thought I had this right, but I guess it wasn't. I guess I have to make an adjustment. The only way you can know what to do is if you're doing that cycle, if you're completing that cycle, right? So it's not just about the integration, it's about the expansion. And then simultaneously, remember, don't just like expand, 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 like do stuff. And then you're like, oh, why is it not working? And why am I so pissed off? And why am I so anxious? You could see how people typically fall into like two categories in general, right? Which is like all like the spiritual stuff and the people who are like all about like the meditation, the namaste, the law of attraction, and let me just kind of think things into existence. And the world will just give me what I want if I just think the right way, trying to like manipulate the world in that way. Or conversely, just a hustler, right? Those people who just like do stuff, they just keep doing things and they wonder why they feel like shit, or they're not really feeling right, or they're always feeling anxious, their relationships aren't right. It's because they're just in the doing mode, right? You have to be in the doing mode and in the being mode, right? It's doing mode, being mode, doing mode, being mode. And so it's important to know, okay, what are the things that I'm doing right now that are in the doing mode? What am I doing right now that's in the being mode? How can I optimize these two things? And how can I make sure that that transition happens so that I'm generating awareness around whenever I'm in any mode, right? So when you're doing stuff, you're like, okay, what am I doing? Where's this coming from, right? Like, what am I doing? Where's this coming from? What does this mean? How can I change this or understand this better, right? So it's almost like you're undergoing mini cycles. It's not like you're doing these massive things where it's like you're like a week here and then a week there. It's something that we do every day, sometimes in moments too, especially if we're like in chaotic environments. You're always in that mode. Conversations are like that, right? You're listening, understanding, thinking, speaking, right? And sometimes those two things happen simultaneously. But remember, it's important as we kind of go through our lives and we're on the journey and we're developing skills, developing our character, and yeah, and just doing everything that we know is right. Like we're moving towards virtues. We have an aim. We're moving towards that aim. We're also reflecting. Is like just make sure that you're organizing yourself in that manner so that you don't get trapped in any mode of being, right? You want to balance these modes of being, and that balance will shift depending on your stage of life, depending on the moment, depending on the circumstance, depending on, some people call them seasons of life. That's fine. You could frame it however you want. But keep that in mind, is that don't get trapped in any one part of the cycle. Because in order for our lives to be holistic, to have that effect that we want, we're like, man, listen, we're strong physically, we're strong spiritually, we're strong mentally, we're strong emotionally, we're strong with the results that we're producing. It's like to be that, it's important to make sure that that cycle is allowed to occur. and you bring consciousness, you bring awareness around that. Because if you don't bring awareness around that cycle, then you're going to wonder why things don't make sense or are scattered. You're focusing too much on this and you think that you're right and everything is true, and you're meditating and you're writing and you're reading, but your relationships for some reason, like, they're not working, or you don't have money, right? This law of attraction stuff. Like, you see the people on the internet like 40, 50 years old. Oh, law of attraction. Yeah, okay. So that's working out. That's working out for you, is it? Is it working out for you, this manifestation thing? And then every once in a while something happens, you're like, oh, law of attraction. Read the article I just wrote on law of attraction, right? Or conversely, like, I'm always doing stuff and I'm always hustling, and this person's an idiot and this person's an asshole, and now you're judging, and you're like, you're outside of the realm of even understanding where your emotions are coming from and where your thoughts are coming from. And you're just doing a bunch of stuff, and either you're getting results but you feel bad, or you're not getting any results and wondering why you're not getting any results. Well, because you're not ignoring this process, because this process is also going to help you determine what you need to do specifically. Rant over. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was really helpful. Um, I don't want to rant too much about this, but this video was really all about bringing awareness to that cycle of integration and expansion, being and doing, right? That's that's what we're aiming for. So I'll leave you with that. Now, I hope that was helpful. If it was, like the video, leave a comment below, ask me a question, subscribe to my newsletter. I think I write some pretty good articles, and you tell me if I do. And yeah, if you want to DM me, you can do so on X or follow me on X. And that's it for me. So if you want me to cover anything, again, leave it in the comments. I'll read all the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.